why you buy the chicken broth from the store. Avoid the chemicals. Take a large pot full of water, heat it up and add onions, carrots, celery. I also like to add some potatoes because when the broth is ready, they're amazing with some olive oil and salt. So, potatoes. Let it sit for a couple of hours and then we're gonna add our chicken. I choose chicken thighs because they stay more tender. So, chicken in, and I also add the tomatoes that I forgot before. I like putting some tomatoes for the color and a stronger flavor. Don't put the salt now. Put it at the end or your meat, it's gonna be super dry. Now, with the chicken in, let it cook for about 2 hours more and your chicken broth is ready. Very good, very hot. I'm gonna save the chicken, the potatoes and the carrots to make a beautiful dinner out of it. Dry out the last veggies. And that's it, we're done. Look how much broth we have. I get it that it might take a while, but you can do a bunch of stuff in the meantime. And you got a free dinner, look at it. Potatoes, carrots, onions, chicken. I don't get.
I found a recipe on TikTok that I'm going to make tonight for dinner. It's a chicken stock recipe. Please excuse my kitchen. It is disheveled and not up to par, but after using TikTok for a while, I realized that my kitchen doesn't really look that bad and I shouldn't feel ashamed of it. I should just embrace it. Make some chicken broth. Right now I have, I'm filling up my Brita pitcher with water so that I can add it to my large pot. This recipe calls for onions, potatoes. I have a bag of red potatoes and carrots and celery. This is the pot I'm using. It's pretty large. Here's the chicken I'm gonna be using. It's by Sprouts. I know that skin and like fats and stuff like can be pretty gelatinous when it's like simmering and things, and you know, bones can look unappetizing, but before you serve it up, just get rid of like that stuff and you should be fine. Also going to add some extra spices just because I love my spices. I'm going to add bay leaf and thyme. This is the water level we're going to keep it at. The recipe also said not to add salt yet, to add it at the end. So I'm not gonna add salt to the water. The water is boiling now, so I think it's a good time to put in the vegetables. I peeled the rest of the potatoes that was in the bag, and then I also cut up the onion. I'm supposed to cook the vegetables for 2 hours. So while the vegetables are cooking, I'm going to chop the rest of the vegetables. I'm going to cut up the carrots and the celery and then add it to this and let it do its thing. The original recipe says to cook the vegetables for a few hours. I'm going to do at least 2 hours because that's how long the chicken needs to sit in the broth before it's cooked all the way. But I'm gonna leave it to medium for now and then like lower the temperature if the bubbles get too extreme. And then I'm going to put the chicken stock in the freezer and save it for another time because I use chicken stock and vegetable stock like all the time. I use it to deglaze my pan. I use it to make soups and curries and rice and all that. So I'm excited about this new recipe. I get a meal out of it and I get high quality chicken stock. Oh, this looks like it's nice and bubbly. We're about 30 minutes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower this to right here. I have 30 minutes left on the broth. I don't know why I keep calling it chicken stock. It's gonna be, it's chicken broth. I put a lid on it because I don't want any more moisture to escape. I went ahead and put it on a lower setting because it was just bubbling way too much. And I think at the water level it's at, I should be able to fit the chicken thighs okay. And I really like doing this because I was able to get like 2 little bowls. Like I'm making a little snack right now. I just scooped out some potatoes, the carrots and celery, and it's totally okay to pick at it because most of the broth is cooked, and it also creates more room for more chicken. So, and the vegetables are really soft and tender, and it's super hot. So I like how I can just snack on the vegetables as it's cooking. This recipe is going to take at least 4 hours, but it's not too bad because like you can eat the vegetables on the side. I just added the chicken thighs. I didn't add any oil or butter to this, and you can see there's already oil on the surface of this. That's all natural. I haven't added salt in yet. I'm going to wait until the end, but it smells really good right now. It's set to medium heat and I have the timer set for 2 hours. And I've watched a couple of ramen making videos, and what gives ramen broth that rich thickness is using fatty meats and stuff, but which is usually pork. They use pork, but we're using chicken, and we're using all the fat that's available on the chicken. Once I'm done cooking the broth, I'm going to toss out the bones and the skin. I totally forgot I have some ciabatta bread as a carb for my meal. There's also a lot of potatoes in the dish, and they're nice and flavorful, so I don't even need to make rice. I probably don't even need the bread. What I usually like to do with my ciabatta bread is I'll heat up a pan with melted butter in it and just have it sit on top of there. That way the top layer is like warm and crunchy, and it's so delicious with pasta and dishes like the one I'm making. Only about 10 minutes into it, I had to lower the heat because it was boiling a lot more. This is what it's looking right now. Look at all that oil. That is going to be so good. One thing I really like about this recipe is I don't have to worry about the chicken not being cooked all the way, because if it's been cooking for like 2 hours, it should definitely be done. And I have a feeling it is going to be so juicy and moist. Ooh, I can't wait. This is what the chicken is looking like. The bone just falls right off. Look at how soft that is. I'm trying to fish out the skin. These little skins will be good for my dog. Okay, the toast is done. This is the bread I'm gonna eat with this. Fishing it out before serving is kind of a pain though. So this is what it's looking like. Then I got my little breads. Yeah, and there's dinner. Hell yeah. This is what the chicken broth looks like now. You can see there's still two thighs in there and some chicken skins floating around. So the next, it's honestly like a soup. So the next step for me is to, after I eat my meal, is to take out all the vegetables and the chicken and strain the broth through a strainer and store the rest. I forgot to do a closing clip of me eating the food. This is the leftovers. It's another day. My plate looks kind of gross right now because it's just all the things, but let me eat a piece of chicken in front of you. Some celery in it. What blows my mind is how soft the chicken is. Like, not adding salt was a very good hack. Like, the chicken is so soft that I can eat it with a fork. That's how soft it is. And it's juicy too. I'm never buying chicken broth again. I'm doing this every single time.